Hey, good morning traders. So basically we are red hot in the crypto space right now. Basically FTX have gone into liquidation. CZ, the CEO of Binance, had put in place a strategic offer to try and rescue FTX and kind of monopolize the exchange crypto space. However, after discussions and due diligence, it turns out that CZ and Binance have withdrawn. They're partaking in potentially buying FTX and resolving the issue. So what does it mean? Ultimately, it looks like FTX is going to go into liquidation. Their CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, forgive me if I've gotten his name wrong, has lost pretty much all of his wealth, and from being in Forbes top 30, he's potentially looking at maybe 30 years in a federal state prison right now. It's to do with the management of client funds, so it looks like there's some wrongdoing there, but obviously we're going to have to wait until all documents are released. But it's not a pretty picture for crypto. If we look at it from a technical perspective, and from the few videos I've sent out over the past few months, we have been waiting for a bearish break, just based from the higher time frames, based from what we're seeing from Commitment of Traders report. The question is, how low can it go, and are we seeing the dead cat bounce in order to basically, is it got to a price point that retail traders are going to really start to buy this, or are they more fearful right now? I think there's a really good saying, which is buy when people are fearful and sell when people are greedy, which is usually what happens through these big rallies. You know, you get the retail space all talking about buy crypto, and whenever you hear that, it's probably not a bad time to start looking at starting to reduce your exposure in some of that portfolio, maybe going to a different asset class, because this will be now significantly overvalued compared to your original sort of that is if you're running sort of equities, currency, commodities and crypto based, property based asset portfolio, and you want to sort of rebalance or recalibrate your portfolios. Now, if I'm looking at this right now, yes, we've seen a break of the 2017 highs, which you can see illustrated back here in on BTC. This is the level we've been waiting for it to break. Now, the weekly candle is going to be very important, and I have been saying on previous videos that I expect this level to break. The question is, what price does it need to come to whet the appetite of retail investors? Because obviously right now, anyone knows that with an investment that can make you a millionaire or billionaire overnight comes with that added risk that in theory you can potentially lose all of your investment overnight, which is kind of what's happened at FTX. You know, not just shareholders but client accounts, etc. They're being rattled down. I don't know the exact numbers of how much has been withdrawn over the last few days when rumors started popping, but it's not looking pretty. For once, we are seeing a sea of green. If we just look at the coins I've got highlighted here, pretty much a sea of green. The only one where we're seeing red right now is Solana, and that had an absolutely disastrous day yesterday. We'll take a look at Solana, and it does look like there's more downside on Solana. So just looking at Bitcoin, where can it go to? I think maybe 12,000. I think we're going to see, if the weekly candle closes below sort of 18,000, then I expect to see a continuation of selling pressure, and then it's when we start to see Bitcoin and Ethereum turn, we should then start potentially looking at some of these altcoins as potential nice times to be getting in. So if we're going to trade Bitcoin, what can we look at? I think a break of today's low. We could see a continuation move lower with CPI data coming out. If we look at it on the 4 hourly, these candles that we're seeing here, they're not exactly what I would call impulsive moves. They're definitely corrective. It's probably anyone that was shorting, it's definitely some kind of profit taking. So I'd be looking at a break of the short term move and continue that momentum to the downside. Ethereum, if you go back on multiple videos, I've been highlighting that I see $1,000 as a price point for Ethereum to come into. It got very, very close yesterday, 1,067. I still think we're going to see a move lower. However, if we can get a pullback into sort of 1260, I will look for a continuation short trade down in towards 1,000. It's got to be an area you want to be taking some profit off, even if it does break lower, which, you know, there's a probability it could do, because if 1,000 doesn't hold, we could see maybe early 800s, late 700s. But yeah, just watching 1,000, see if price holds, and then we can start to see how the market reacts from that point. But I'll be looking for short opportunities on crypto as it stands right now. FTM, well, this market is just getting blitzed like they all are. It's about 94-95% down from all-time highs. Like Bitcoin, if we just hover over a price point, I want you to watch the weekly candle. If we close below this zone, then we can expect to see some more downside. But if we can hold above this, which if Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to have another push lower, I'm not sure this price will hold. I'd potentially expect to see another push lower. But obviously, you know, we're not just going to get sucked into taking any trades. As I see this right now, very, very similar setup to Bitcoin, which is we've closed below on the daily. Today we're having a little pullback up. So sell stop underneath yesterday's low looks good for more downside. But, you know, I think now, because of where price is at 0.19 cents, makes sense to be waiting for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you do like this market, then you're looking at opportunities to buy for the foreseeable future and just holding on to it. Solana, well, good luck guys. This is just horrendous chart. If you're in this, you know, from highs of around $260, now looking at it at, what is it, $13, really, really will make your heart sink. And the picture, that from a technical perspective, doesn't look any better. I mean, we've broken all significant levels, all significant structure. There's no real sort of end in sight for this waterfall effect that's happening right now. So, you know, how low can it go? Could it get to zero? Who knows? But I would definitely be waiting for further updates before just jumping in and buying a market, unless you're happy to just basically risk whatever investment you have on kind of a red or black scenario. Yes, it could fly again, but it could also go to zero. So, you know, these are things that you have to think about. Too many people get caught thinking about the positive moves and forget about the downside aspects. You know, ultimately, yes, you look at this and you go, well, the upside far outweighs the downside right now because we're so low. So if you are looking at investing in any of these altcoins right now, especially the ones that have been absolutely brutally hammered, which is nearly all of them, then you have to be prepared to throw that money away. You know, just look at what's happened with FTX. You know, they sponsored Miami Heat Stadium, they sponsor F1. This is one of the biggest exchanges in the world that has just gone from billions in capital to zero. So that's how you have to treat your crypto investments. Don't just jump in blindfolded and think that it's going to go to the moon. You have to be prepared to write that capital off. It is unregulated, so be very, very careful, guys. Don't just think because we're close to Bitcoin halving again and, you know, that Binance is safe. Binance might not be safe. You have to be prepared to lose that capital. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. It's not regulated, so just be very, very careful. And any investments you do make, treat it as capital that you can throw away. On that note, guys, I will come back in the next day or two to do another update video, because, like I said, the markets are now interesting me, because it's got to a point where it should, in the next week or two, if we stay down in these areas, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum, should start attracting investors back in as price being so low. So on that note, guys, have a great day. I will keep you updated. If you've got any questions, drop it in the comment section below and we'll get back to you ASAP. Take care. Bye bye.